Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. So did Toyota hit a home run with the redesign, the 2024 Tacoma that's coming out any day now, probably another couple of months or so. You might be able to start ordering it fairly soon, but probably not going to be able to put your hands on one for maybe 3 or 4 months, actually. But did Toyota hit a home run with this new Tacoma, like they did with the Toyota Prius? Whether you're a Prius fan or not, you have to admit what they did with the Prius is simply amazing. It's actually a sought-after, good-looking vehicle right now. So I've been looking, of course, as many of you have, at the new Tacoma, and I just got to thinking, did they really hit a home run with it? Well, first of all, I would say they probably got to first or second base. The truck is good looking enough. I mean, it's nothing outstandingly different, and that can be good since they have the #1 best-selling mid-size truck. They couldn't really go crazy, right? I mean, with the Prius, for example, it was long in the tooth and really ugly, so they could take a big chance with that, but not with the Toyota Tacoma. I mean, it's not hugely different. There are differences. A lot of people will say that it looks like a mini Tundra. Well, you could kind of argue that for the existing third generation Tacoma. I mean, it's a truck. It's relatively square. So was the Tundra. A lot of the same options and things in the inside, just shrunken down a little bit. I don't know. So I don't think they hit a home run when it comes to appearance. I think they got to first or second base. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I do like the truck. I think it's still a good-looking truck. Have to see one in person as to whether or not it's still the best mid-size, good-looking truck. We shall see. When it comes to the powertrain, Toyota hasn't really put out a ton of information on things like fuel economy, 0 to 60, that kind of thing. Although I know it's a truck. 0 to 60 is probably not real important, but it'll give you an idea at least as to how much acceleration or how much power the truck has. I just haven't seen a lot about it. I've seen horsepower, I've seen torque, all that kind of stuff, but what can the truck really do? And that kind of comes down to how they tune it, how they set that truck up. I mean, I've had trucks in the past that had huge horsepower, but they were geared and tuned in such a way that they were dogs even so. I mean, they were set up to tow or haul tons and tons of weight. Just didn't get up and go the way that I want any vehicle to do. We don't know that about the Tacoma yet. I'm really hoping that it's not Ford Ranger-esque. That it's not set up the same way as that truck. Because I was disappointed. Drove one a few years ago. It was still just a dog. I had high expectations, and maybe that's the problem. I was thinking it was going to be much more than it was, and it really wasn't. The technology and stuff inside, that's definitely not a home run, in my opinion. You've got the big, giant floating screen. Looks like an iPad or computer screen stuck in there, sticks up out of the air, and it can be done well. In some vehicles, I'll go back to the Prius again, it actually looks good in there. But in the Tacoma, it kind of looks out of place. It's like what the Tundra looks like, the ones that have the bigger screen. It looks like it just sits up above the dash, like it was just socked in there. Not a great look as far as I'm concerned. What I've seen of the interior so far, again, it's not bad, it's not horrible, it's just not a home run. I don't see anything in it that really jumps out and grabs you. It's not one of those trucks that when I first saw it, I thought I've got to have this truck. There are vehicles like that for me that I've come across in the past. It's probably the biggest reason why I've had 70-some vehicles in my lifetime. It's because they always reached out and grabbed me. When I saw these vehicles, I had to have them. I didn't really feel that way with the Toyota Tacoma. And in reading a lot of the comments and hearing a lot of things that you guys are saying out there, It's apparent to me that you're not saying that or don't feel that way either, because you're not saying that. I'm not seeing a lot of people say that they've got to run out and get this new Tacoma. It's the best looking thing they've ever seen. The new setup is revolutionary. They can't wait. They're on a list somewhere. Speaking of lists, don't go get on a list somewhere, and certainly don't put money down to be on a list. The truck is not for sale yet. You cannot buy one. So to pay money to have yourself at some position on a list, to then be able to be put in once things are released and the dealers start getting their allocations on these trucks, to me that's crazy. That's just like donating money to the dealership so they can earn interest on your money while you wait for the ability to be able to say you really want the truck and actually buy one. There's just nothing that earth-shattering about the truck to do that with, other than it's the latest and greatest thing. Its capability, I don't know. I think it's going to be equivalent, might be a little bit better. I don't think it's going to be worse when it comes to towing and hauling and all that kind of stuff. I just don't think in this day and age, with all the competition out there, that Toyota could do that they could put out a truck that actually has lower numbers than what the current truck has. It wouldn't make a lot of sense from a competitive or business standpoint, I don't think. Again, I'm going to go back to fuel economy, because other than meeting government requirements and going with this 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, we would expect it to have pretty darn good fuel economy. I mean, if they're going to grab the 6-cylinder away from us, force us to take a 4-cylinder, they've got to give us something in return. And if it doesn't come in the form of performance, which I don't think a lot of people look for in a truck, then it has to come in the way of fuel economy. Is it going to be substantially greater? You know, I'll go back to the Tundra. When it was first announced, the new Tundra, everybody was talking about this fantastic fuel economy. You know, they're going to go to this turbocharged engine. They're going to get much better fuel economy, and that really has not proven to be true. If anything, I would say it's been a disappointment. You know, I've heard real world numbers, what people are really getting with the Tundra. It might be a couple miles more per gallon, something like that, but for what you had to give up in the form of power and reliability, I don't think it was a win. It certainly wasn't a home run for us, the buyer. Hopefully they don't go that same route with the Tacoma, but I have a feeling we're going to see a few more miles per gallon. It isn't going to be anything earth-shattering, and I think if it was, Toyota would already be talking about that. We're not hearing it. So anyway, no, I don't think Toyota has hit a home run with the 2024 Tacoma. I think they just made it to first or second base.